Jason Brownlee is back, baby. We talk about it. Plus, some takeaways from Joe Douglas's presser a couple days ago. We can finally get into it here as well and what it all means. It's a Labor Day weekend special of Boy Green Daily.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
You're fucking Russian.
Happy Saturday, everybody. My name is Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your friggin' podcast. There is an article in the YouTube description down below to tell you a little bit more about Jason Brownlee's return, and plus we'll talk about it, obviously, here on the program. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, get those comments flowing, baby, here on a Saturday, and happy Labor Day weekend to all of you. Hopefully you guys get a chance to spend some time with your loved ones. I will be. As soon as this show is over, I'm hitting the road, baby. I'm going to head over to New Hampshire. It's a nice 7+ hour drive to go see my old man. And of course, with that, we'll be doing a live Boy Green Daily tomorrow morning and Monday morning with my father before I head back on the road, back here to New York on Monday, Labor Day, to get us ready for Jets 49ers. We got superstar guests next week. You guys are not going to want to miss it. Again, get those comments flowing, baby. Plus, add some members to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Yesterday, we got to 33 members away from a new emoji being unlocked. So, folks, I'm taking a peek ski out the comments. Can we get some new members to the Boy Green Coffee Club? There's two ways to do that. Number one, in the YouTube description down below, punch in your own ticket where it says join the Boy Green Coffee Club here. You just click that link and you become a member. Loyalty badge, unlocking of emojis, and, of course, access to our Discord channel. Number two, if you're watching on YouTube, there's a little money sign by the comment section. Click on that. The final option is gift memberships. You can gift 1, 5, 10, 50. You can gift as many memberships as you want. It is random who they end up going to, but the more active people are more likely to get them according to the YouTube overlord. So people, make sure you do it. Let's get right into it here with Jason Brownlee. So first, I guess let's go to the original part of the story. The Jets make one claim off of waivers. That is former Chicago Bears tight end Brendan Bates. When you claim a player off waivers, they automatically get added to your 53-man roster if you win the player in waivers, because it is based on the draft order. The Jets had the highest waiver wire claim for Brendan Bates, which means he was added to the 53-man roster, which means the Jets immediately had to make a corresponding move to fit Bates now joining the roster. And unfortunately, the casualty was Jason Brownlee. And there was a lot of hoopla, a lot of speculation that, oh boy, maybe Jason Brownlee is about to get claimed by somebody. Zach Rosenblatt said that. We have that featured in the article down below. Would not be surprised if he gets claimed. He does not get claimed. And when that happens, that player becomes an unrestricted free agent. No longer waiver wire claims enter the mix. And then Jason Brownlee has a choice. If the Jets offer it, and they did, and he accepted, but if they offered it, he could return to the Jets practice squad. He was originally on the 53-man roster. Or if he has practice squad invitations from other teams, he could have told the Jets to go kick rocks, and he could have went and joined a new team. But as we found out on Friday, in the middle of my fantasy draft, I'm like, whoa, Jason Brownlee back. Terrific. As we were getting that together, I think it's awesome. I like Jason Brownlee. Again, I didn't have him making the 53-man roster when we did our most recent cuts, because he's wildly inconsistent. There are incredible flashes from the young man. He's incredibly talented. You see it in this year's training camp. He had a one-handed catch in one of the final training camp practices. Last year, Adam Schefter tweeted out the clip of some crazy-ass on-the-sideline catch. Jason Brownlee's got the talent. There's no question. But he needs to be consistent. You can't be a wide receiver that drops passes and then has spectacular ones. Consistency is key. That is what will keep you in the National Football League. Now the pressure's completely off. So now he's on the practice squad. He could develop. He could take his time and nurture and mature. Maybe at some point during the season, he will be a practice squad elevation where they use him. He doesn't seem like he's much of a special teams guy like his other former undrafted free agent cohort, Xavier Gipson, of course, who's been used as a return man, which means he'd have to be used straight up as a wide receiver. And I don't know when that's going to happen, which leads us. So again, Jason Brownlee back, super cool, great to hear. But here's the other sneaky news to me that is included on Brownlee getting cut and ultimately being placed on the practice squad. The only way, because the Jets had a few guys that were kind of hanging in the mix that could have been cut. Nick Ferry had joined us earlier in the week and talked about it, where guys like Braden McGregor, Eric Watts, like those kind of guys, Israel Abanikanda, Jason Brownlee, these are guys that are floating on the bubble of the roster. And if the Jets claimed a player, those could have been some of the first players that got knocked off, and ultimately it ended up being Brownlee. But the only reason of explanation that the Jets would have gotten rid of Jason Brownlee is that they felt comfortable with the room. Again, Brownlee does not seem to be, anyway, a dynamic special teams contributor, which means he only contributes as a wide receiver. And why that's important is Mike Williams, obviously, is coming off a torn ACL from last season when he was a member of the Los Angeles Chargers. If the Jets felt that Mike Williams, oh boy, he's not going to be full Mike Williams until, I'm making this up, week 4, week 5, week 6, week 7. The Jets would have been like, well, you know, we want Brendan Bates, but we need another wide receiver that can step in at a moment's notice. And Jason Brownlee, in theory, would have been that guy. But with them, the Jets, cutting Jason Brownlee, I think it says to me like, okay, Mike Williams is going to be ready to go. Now, will he be 100%? We talked about this yesterday on the show about the injury updates to Michael Carter II. He's now, quote-unquote, full go. Mike Williams has had team drill reps all week. So we knew about the update of Mike Williams and that he's not 100%. But again, I think this is another telltale sign that the Jets feel pretty good about Mike Williams' rehab and recovery and everything else if they're willing to cut Brownlee. I think that speaks something here to Mike Williams' health and recovery. Keep those comments going, baby. Like the video, hit subscribe. I appreciate all the support, baby. Let's work in one of these just because I love it. Hep, we love you, buddy. You tried calling in the other day on the show, and we got busy. We had B-Mac. We had everybody on the show. But here you go.
Okay.
Say it, baby. Let's see if it will. Actually, we might be having
Boy
issues here.
Green Daily. We're talking Jets.
Oh, boy. Not playing. That's okay. How about a Jet? All right, let's try Hep Super Bowl song one more time.
Okay. Boy Green Daily. We're talking Jets. We are the best. Forget the rest. We're up to date. We're going there. Super Bowl's coming, so all beware. Yeah.
And I can't wait because a new Hep song apparently was something with Boy Green Daily and more musical instruments and singing, and I don't even know what else. It's a surprise, but Hep has been dropping little breadcrumbs about what that could be. We'll have to see. Keep an eye out for Hep for the new drop of his next demo or whatever is involved here for Boy Green Daily. So again, Jason Brownlee's back. That's awesome. Hopefully continues to develop. It was a great story last year. I love that in Hard Knocks, the two undrafted free agents making it, because Hard Knocks set it up like Xavier Gipson versus Jason Brownlee. And by the way that Hard Knocks is, it's a week-to-week show, so they were reporting on what's happening live. It's not like they knew at the beginning of the show that Jason Brownlee and Xavier Gipson would be the storyline and that they would both make the roster. They didn't know that because, again, the show is a week-to-week basis show. But the drama was incredible of this guy versus this guy. And we fall in love with both their stories. We're like, boy, probably only one of them makes it. And booyah, surprise, both made it, which is so cool. So cool. I love that. Absolutely love that. So good on that. But there's one other thing I want to get into. We haven't had a chance to get into it, really. Joe Douglas's presser. Because I had Ian O'Connor on the show, and again, that interview was terrific. I know that was, it's hard to plug in an interview like Ian O'Connor because there's a lot of news happening. It'd be a wonderful interview in June because we talked about all kinds of stuff. Again, there was some relevant stuff to the team this season, but I could understand with the breaking news and stuff going on. I had a lot of people say, Paul, what about the Lewis Seen thing? Paul, Joe Douglas, Paul, Saleh, and everything else. And I understand, but I hope you guys got a real kick out of that Ian O'Connor interview. We got some big-ass interviews next week. Just stay tuned, baby. Boy Green Daily, live every single freaking day at 7:30, baby. That is where you can find it all. So we didn't get a chance to get into Joe Douglas, so there's a lot to unpack there. Let's start here. There's a lot of Hassan Reddick stuff to get into, but here's where I want to start. Joe Douglas is entering year number 6 with the Jets. 6! He got hired in 2019. Now, it's a little weird because he was hired in like May, June after the draft and after free agency. So like normally a general manager is hired in January, February, maybe, so they could get the Senior Bowl and the Combine, and normally after a season ends. But the Jets did it weird. We all remember, oh, Mike McCagnon, you could spend a lot of money. C.J. Mosley, Le'Veon Bell, the list goes on. Oh, sure, you can have a draft and then fired everybody? What the hell? That was incredibly weird. I still won't get that. But they did hire him in 2019. He's entering year 6. And I love this from Joe Douglas. He had a couple of things to say, including this, quote, I feel like this is a team that's ready to win, and I feel that work that everybody's put in, the staff, the football operations staff, coaching staff, players, this has been a really good training camp. So I can't wait to see all of the fruits of everyone's labor as the season goes on. And obviously, it's going to be a roller coaster season, just like any other season. But again, it's a great group of people to take the journey with, end quote, there from Joe Douglas. He also explained that there is, quote, a sense of urgency in everything we do. You know, there's a lot of factors that go into decisions and how you want to operate. And so we have to stay true to our beliefs and our message in the locker room, end quote. Joe Douglas is enough of the speeches of, well, development and, in 30 years, maybe we'll compete. He understands his ass is on the line. Saleh's tuchus is on the line. Straight up. And the only antidote is winning. Championships, playoffs, winning playoff games, winning regular seasons, winning divisions. It's a results-oriented business, baby. And you gotta play to win the game. Just that simple. It's just that simple. So enough of development, enough of this. And I'm glad Douglas is finally stepping up to the plate and giving us answers we want to hear as Jet fans. It's time to win. The time for development is over. Again, there will always be development, obviously, but you get my point. This isn't a multi-year project. This is a right-now project. Aaron Rodgers, this team, this defense, this schedule. It's time to open a can of whoop-ass on everybody. And the Jets have an opportunity to do so. So I loved hearing those kind of things from Joe Douglas. It's obvious. Again, they got to win or they're done. But it's great to hear. And, of course, the majority of Joe Douglas's presser was spent on Hassan Reddick-related questions. Okay. And he mentioned some of the guys that are set to fill in. Quote, we have 3 undrafted guys at a premium position like the D-line come in and really do their thing. It's a credit to a lot of people. It's a credit to the work that goes into recruiting these young men, our scouts, evaluating players. We know exactly what our coaches are looking for, and we can point to specific examples of guys coming in that may not have been premium picks, but are being developed by a great staff. And to be honest, this Jets team has variety in the diet. 3 undrafted free agents. Making it all in the D-line is crazy. Eric Watts of UConn, Leonard Taylor III of Miami, and, of course, Braden McGregor of Michigan. Those are your 3, and the fact that they made it is surprising, tremendous, exceptional. It's all of those things. Absolutely all of those things. Because you could argue the Jets' defensive line was one of their deepest groups on the team, and somehow 3 guys made it. Unbelievable. But you want to know what? The Jets have proven that they can do it with relative nobodies. Again, no offense intended to Eric Watts, Braden McGregor, and LT3, Leonard Taylor III. But these guys were all undrafted free agents for a reason. They had issues or drama or talent or whatever, man. I'll let you guys fill out the gaps. Okay? They have talent. We want to know who has talent. What about former first-round draft choices? Now, Lewis Cine decided to go to the Buffalo Bills instead of the Jets, so we lost one first-round draft choice. The Jets have 9 former first-round picks on this roster on defense. They had 10 with Lewis Cine. It's now 9. This is the talent level we're talking about here for the New York Jets. So sure, the Jets can get it done with lesser. They can make chicken salad out of chicken you-know-what. Okay, that's fine. There's no question about it. But what the Jets are able to do is make filet mignon out of talent. The Jets, again, have 9 former first-round draft choices on the defensive side of the ball in no particular order. Sauce Gardner, Jermaine Johnson, Javon Kinlaw, C.J. Mosley, Tack McKinley, Solomon Thomas, Quinnen Williams, Will McDonald, and Hassan Reddick, who I get it, is not on the team. We'll get into Hassan even more, I'm sure, in a second. But this team is loaded. They could do it with undrafted free agents, and they can sure as hell do it with former first-round draft choices. Look at what the Jets have done with these reclamation projects in the past. And Solomon Thomas, he's coming off a career year, man. Former number 3 overall pick. Tack McKinley, former first-round draft choice, has been insane this year. Javon Kinlaw has looked great. Will McDonald has shown flashes. I don't want to throw great around. That may be hyperbolic, but you get my drift. You get my point. This team, this defensive coaching staff can do it with undrafted free agents, and they can do it with former first-round picks. It is the island of misfit toys. You know, to get all Christmas on you. Let me see. Let me pull up the list real quick. The characters on the island of misfit toys. Let's get some of these bastards on here. Of misfit toys. Google. Okay, let's see if we have it. Here's a bunch of guys. Okay. I don't know if this will be everybody. Let me see if there's everybody in here. No, I'm going to have to, let's see. Okay, yeah, the Christmas Wiki. Okay, this will have our guys. Okay, let's see. Who's all the guys? Here we go. A Charlie in the box. Nobody wants a Charlie in the box. You have Dolly. You have a spotted elephant. Let's see. A cowboy rides an ostrich. A train with square wheels on his caboose. A scooter for Jimmy. A water pistol that squirts jelly. A bird that swims. A boat that can't stay afloat. A winged bear. An airplane that can't fly. A wind-up mouse and a set of nesting clown dolls. That one's oddly specific. 2 tin soldiers. A sailboat. A pink fire truck. A blue race car. A blue bicycle. A white rocking horse. A push-up toy cat. All right. A kite who's afraid of heights. A piggy bank with no slot. A boomerang that doesn't come back. And a rattle without noise. Thank you, ChristmasWiki.com. I didn't even know that was a thing. But you get the drift. There's a lot of Island of Misfit toys here. Former first-round picks that were cast off by their other team, saying you're a bust. You're a reject. Get out of here. Solomon Thomas, Tack McKinley, and the Jets dusted those guys off and said, come on down, baby. Other players who aren't former first-round picks but were tossed aside. John Franklin Myers, he was in the Super Bowl with the Rams. See ya, pal. Quincy Williams, tossed aside by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Think about it. Think about the team. Think about the guys that have been put together in a team of misfit toys. And I think that should be a source of pride, quite frankly. I don't think it should be like an insulting thing. It's like, hey, man, you didn't want me, and now the Jets did. Think about this with Tack McKinley, right? He revealed to the media this offseason that the Jets were the only one who even gave him an offer. He didn't have an offer from anyone else. He literally had no choice. It's Jets or sell used cars or something. I don't know what his other job offers were outside of the NFL, but you get my point. Tack McKinley said, well, it's do or die, and boy, did he do. No dying here. Tack McKinley was terrific in the preseason, and boy, not only did he make the 53-man roster, which is terrific, he's going to have pass rush snaps week 1 against the San Francisco 49ers. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Now, let's get back into some Hassan Reddick stuff. Let's get back into some Hassan Reddick comments there from Joe Douglas, who said a variety of things. We've been clear and direct, as Joe Douglas said about Hassan Reddick. He said, we've been clear and direct. The ball is in his court. And he reiterated, ultimately, that you have to get here for Hassan Reddick, arrive, and we will discuss a contract possibility. But until he does, quote unquote, nothing has changed. He did confirm. Joe Douglas said he hadn't spoken with Hassan Reddick since he showed up for his introductory press conference on April 1st. Hell, he hadn't even spoken with Hassan Reddick's agent and representation, Tory Dandy, in quite some time. Douglas also said this, quote, let's get here and then let's talk. I don't have the benefit of just dealing with one person and one agent. A lot of decisions that you make will reverberate through the locker room and have ripple effects on the locker room. So to me, that is and always will be the most important thing, end quote. And I provide a free service here on Boy Green Daily. Again, guys, like the video, hit subscribe. I love seeing the numbers of all the people here on the show. God bless and thank you on Labor Day weekend and seeing these kind of numbers. It's terrific. I love having all you guys watching the show. I love doing this show. That's why I'm so passionate. I love doing this show. I love kicking off your days. So thank you for the support. Like the video, hit subscribe. But a free service I provide on this show is NFL people say this, and I interpret it for you. So let's read that quote one more time. Quote, I don't have the benefit of just dealing with one person and one agent, Joe Douglas said. A lot of decisions that you make will reverberate, through the locker room and have a ripple effect in the locker room. So to me, that is and will always be the most important thing, end quote. So what is Joe Douglas saying there? He's saying he has to stand on business. He needs to stand on principle. There are some Jet fans out there, and I know you're out there in the comment section, I can see you, that say, we're trying to win a Super Bowl, and Hassan Reddick helps those chances, so stop getting involved in a pissing match with Hassan Reddick and pay the man. Pay him the required price to get him in here, and let's go win a championship. But as Joe Douglas warns with that quote, if I just pay, and again, I'm interpreting it for you, that's free of charge. Joe Douglas is saying, if I turn around and say, fine, Hassan, here is $1 kajillion. Here you go, buddy. Welcome back to the team. We need you. The other people in the locker room are going to be like, aha, I see. So if I don't show up to practice, I get fined up the wazoo. I don't show up for my teammates. I don't show up for practice. I don't show up for OTAs. I don't show up for minicamp. I don't show up for preseason games. Aha, so that's how they'll handle it. They will just pay me. They will eventually pay me no matter what. Oh, okay, I see how it works. Hassan Reddick hasn't been negotiating in good faith from what we've been able to tell. And Joe Douglas knows if he cowtails to Hassan Reddick and his agent, boy, oh boy, Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Jermaine Johnson, and all the other guys, right? The one-year guys, DJ Reed, Tyler Conklin, go through the list, Tyron Smith, any of those guys. Who knows who's coming back, who's it? Chuck Clark. Those guys are going to be like, that will set a precedent. Oh, okay, that's how you negotiate. You need it to get a little difficult. You need it to get a little dirty. That's what you need, apparently. And I'm telling you, Joe Douglas ain't bending the knee. That quote says it right there. That even if the Jets somehow lost to 49ers, I think they're winning that game. We'll have all kinds of full coverage coming up with 49ers insiders and great Jets guests coming up this week on Boy Green Daily. Don't miss it. But Joe Douglas can't bend the knee. He can't do it. He can't. There are guys to pay in the future. And if you say, oh, yeah, we'll pay you, Hassan Reddick, guy that's blown off the team for the last couple of months, and you don't have any standing here. We don't even know if you actually are a Jet. Because even on his introductory press conferences I've mentioned in the past, he wasn't even wearing any Jets gear. He had a light green part of his hat that were like, well, that's kind of Jetish. I don't know. I didn't see him in helmet. I haven't seen him in jersey. I got no friggin' clue. But Joe Douglas has to defend the Shield. He has to defend the integrity of the locker room. And if he cowtails to Reddick, he's going to have to cowtail to everyone else in the entire, again, I talk about it all the time. You have a big Pillsbury Doughboy come in looking all brave. You poke him in the belly button. Pooh! All the air comes out of that Pillsbury Doughboy. It sounds all tough then. Boop! My cousin Ray Ray. Boop! And all of a sudden, oh, not as intimidating as it was before. This is an important mark in Jets history. This is an important mark in Joe Douglas's tenure. You cannot bend the knee. If you do, it has a chance to screw up future contracts, including but not limited to that historic 2022 draft class, which is absolutely massive. And you need to keep as many, if not all of the guys. You got the money. You can figure it out. The Cowboys got a big three. They got CeeDee Lamb. They got Micah Parsons. They got Dak Prescott. They're going to figure it out. The Jets need to figure it out. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Jermaine Johnson. Let's go. All of them. Sauce Gardner, you too. All four of you. Let's keep the core together. It won't be easy. I'm not saying it will be. But come on now. Come on now. Hassan Reddick will figure itself out. He eventually has to show up. He has no other choice. And boy, was that pretty damn telling, okay? When a reporter asked Joe Douglas, hey, I believe it was Rich Cimini, did they renege on the deal? You had a verbal agreement where they said, oh, we'll do this. And then as time passed, they didn't live up to that. Is that true? Well, when Joe Douglas was asked that, and he was waiting to answer, and he was a hubbada. It wasn't that Joe Douglas is incompetent in this particular scenario. It was simply that, oh, wow, he's trying to think of anything else to say but that. I counted 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, between media question, Joe Douglas going, you want to know how much time passed? According to ESPN, it was 7 seconds. I don't know if it was quite that long. That seems a little overdramatic, but still. It was a significant period of time where Douglas going, what do I say? What do I say? What do I say? What do I say? This? And that's what happened. That's what happened. So long story short, the Jets owe it to themselves. Dak Prescott owes it to his quarterback room. Everybody owes it to themselves. I don't know why I'm randomly bringing up the Cowboys here, but like, you know, kind of in the same way, like in a weird way. I don't know. I guess I can use this example. Like Dak Prescott owes it to himself to get as much money as possible from the Dallas Cowboys and for the future quarterbacks and everything as a random Cowboys example. I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but you know, to use that as a part of the puzzle to say, hey, I need to get as much money as possible because I owe it to everybody else. I owe it to every quarterback that plays after me to get a good deal. If I take less, that's going to set a bad precedent. In the same way, Joe Douglas can't cowtail, as I've said a few times here over the last couple of minutes, because that will set a bad precedent for many years to come, and we're going to feel those ripple effects into the next tenure of whoever is replacing Joe Douglas if things don't go well. That is the stone cold truth. All right, everybody, it's Labor Day weekend. I'll tell you this. Again, I've said this story before. For these Boy Green Dailies, the original intention of the program, you can see it if you go to our Spreaker profile, where you can also find the audio version. You can really find it anywhere, but Spreaker is kind of our home base for the audio podcast. You will see it's a little cut off, but it's one of the images that we use where it's me at the Jets facilities, you know, Twitter diehards going like, making some crazy face in the hands. And it's like a comic book where you have kablam, kapow, kablah, kablah. And some of the features that I'm promoting for Boy Green Daily is that it's a 20 to 30 minute episode. It's snack size and it's all these other things. And then I can't remember who, you guys in the chat knows who it was, Phil, Dakota, whoever said, Paul, do you want to go a little bit longer than the 20 or 30 minutes? And someone else says, hey, Paul, you want to open up the phone lines more? Like everyone has made the show grow, which is why I find the Boy Green Coffee Club so cool. It's its own community. They name themselves which I've said in the past, the Boy Green nickname, for those who don't know, I was almost nicknamed Elroy. I have to tell that story every once in a while. You can't give yourself a nickname. But when you receive a nickname or something is bestowed in some way, it just feels right. Boy Green, I didn't make up that nickname. My radio partner, Jim the Man-Child Lurch, made up that nickname. And then he gave it to me, and now it's stuck. The Boy Green Coffee Club called themselves the Boy Green Coffee Club. And I said, you know what? That's a way better name than my old YouTube membership group, which used to be the Boy Green Super Fan Club. How stupid is that? And in some areas that YouTube hasn't upgraded, you could still see the Boy Green Super Fan Club every once in a while. What a stupid name. That's a god-awful name. I'm so glad you guys called yourself something else, because I was the most uncreative bastard in the world. But I love you guys, because you do make it interesting. But for Labor Day, I'm going to do a special thing right here today, and we're going to cut off the episode right now at 30 minutes and change. I want you guys to do me a favor. As much as I enjoy you guys watching the show, and I hope you do, it keeps the lights on for me here. Like the video, hit subscribe, again, join the Boy Green Coffee Club. I want you to do me a favor right now. At the end of this show, if you are with family, give them a hug or a kiss or what have you, and just appreciate them, because tomorrow is never promised. And as I'm about to leave this show so I could go on my own drive, it's part of the reason I'm cutting off the show early here, so I can hop on the road to go see my family. It's going to be a 7-hour drive, and I'll be listening to all kinds of content. But I know how I have a lot of, not to, give you all kinds of details of my life, although I told you guys I'm an open book. I got a lot of work to do this weekend for the Jets, all kinds of things. But I'm going to try to do it when it's not interrupting people, like it's at night or something, or people are taking a nap or something. Because you don't know how much time you get with your family, man. Especially now. I'm busy, man. I got a beautiful fiance. I got a 2.5-year-old daughter. I have a son coming in November, which, again, is still so surreal. And I'm not around my family. Some of you may be honored and blessed, and I hope those who are around their family all the time get to really enjoy it. I see my family a couple times a year, if that. And it's a pleasure. Like, again, in a couple weeks, Jets Patriots, September 19th. I can't wait. It's going to be terrific. It's going to be terrific. I'm going to get to tailgate with my father. I haven't gotten to do that a lot in my life. That's cool. I'm going to be meeting all you guys, the Woodies of the world, the Connor Longs of the world, the fans, Jared B's and Uncle Tio's, and all you guys that'll be coming. I don't think Jared B's coming, but Uncle Tio, Johnny Boy, all those people, whoever's coming. I'm going to get a chance to meet you guys. And I just want you guys to savor the moment, because I think too often we take everything for granted. I won't call my mom or dad today. They'll be there tomorrow. They'll be there tomorrow. They'll be there tomorrow. And then they're not. I don't mean to turn this into a big soapbox PSA thing, but I often think about right here, my grandfather, who's there in the middle, who's a reason I'm a Jets fan and this show even exists. Because if I wasn't a Jet fan, I wouldn't be doing this, obviously. We used to try to do appointment calls. So like he'd call me every Tuesday or something so we could have a conversation. And eventually, obviously, some of them stopped because I was busy or this happened or this happened. We didn't get to do them as much as I wanted to. And now he's gone and I don't get a chance to do it. It's over. I had my chances to make those calls and now it's over and I can't. So for those of you who are still blessed to have all kinds of family in your life, mothers, fathers, grandparents, whatever, kids, tell them you love them, man. Enjoy it. Again, I don't mean to get all PSA here, but with the holiday and me about to go visit my family, maybe I'm in the feels. But make sure you try to do that today, guys. If it's important enough, you can make time. We're all busy. I called Woody last night. I was telling him about all the crazy-ass stuff I have to go on. I'm driving to meet my family today. I got all kinds of crazy-ass stuff happening in my life. But, again, I quote the Ferris Bueller line. If you don't look around once in a while, you might miss it. You might miss it. We'll end on that. Again, normally we go our show a lot longer. We'll go an hour or so, but I got to hit the road, and I have no idea what the Labor Day weekend traffic's going to be. But I will be, here's a tease, I'll be live tomorrow morning with my father for Boy Green Daily Live. We'll be in the same location. Monday, we'll be live in the same location and kick you off, because on that Monday episode, on Labor Day, we'll be 1 week away from the New York Jets season opener against the San Francisco 49ers. And a few days after that will be Thursday Night Football, and football will be officially back. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Like the video, hit subscribe. We'll have a fun load of content over the coming days. Enjoy college football. I'll get to watch Syracuse football. My father, that'll be quite nice, against the Ohio Bobcats. Those feisty Bobcats. I'm looking forward to that and spending time with my family. I hope you guys can spend time with your family this weekend too. If you can't, if you don't have the opportunity, and some of us don't, give them a call. Give them a FaceTime. Let them know how you feel. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care.